and welcome to another interesting English language class. My name is Precious Balogun. Our theme for today is Oracy Skills Spoken English, and our topic is consonant sounds y, z, j, th, and th. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to differentiate between these consonant sounds y, z, j, th, and th. And lastly, identify and pronounce words in which they occur. Consonant sounds are sounds or speech sounds that are produced with partial or complete obstruction of air from the voice box. Let's take a look at some examples of consonant sounds. We have p, b, t, d, k, g, f, v, th, th, s, z, h, and n. But today, our focus will be on the consonant sounds y, z, j, th, and th. Now, let's start with describing the y sound. When we pronounce the y sound, we raise the middle part of our tongue against the center of the roof of our mouth without touching it. During this process, we form a gap which is suddenly open. Note that the y sound is a voiced sound. Now, let's see how this sound is spelt in words. The y sound is spelt as the letter Y in words like you, yon, young, yeah, yes, yam, yat, and yell. Also, the y sound is part of the sound made by the letters J-U in words like use, music, computer, uniform, student, during, beautiful, community, unit, and feel. Now, let's take a look at more spellings of the U sound. Some other words with the U sound are argue, continue, hue, value, few, Matthew, nephew, stew, interview, review, view, cure, curious, pure, security, onion, opinion, million, and behavior. Now, let's look at this sound in sentences. You can view the picture. We have the U sound in you and view. The second example we have use the computer during the test. We have it in words like use, computer, and during. Now, let's go on to the next consonant sound, which is the Z sound. The sound Z is pronounced when our teeth come together lightly and the tip and blade of our tongue make light contact with the tooth ridge. The sides of our tongue make close contact with our upper side teeth while air escapes through the center of our tongue. Like this. Z, z. Note that this sound is voiced because there's a vibration in our voice box. Let's take a look at how this sound is spelt in words. The Z sound is spelled as the letter S in words like rogues, flimsy, results, as, easy, his, drugs, reason, daisy, music, boys, always, was, is, president. And it is spelled as the letters SE in words like please, tease, rise, woos, cheese, these, rose, pose, those, chose, use, lose. It is also spelled as the letters SS in words like Caesars, possess, desert, and business. The Z sound is also spelled as the letter Z in words like zinc, maize, zero, breeze, zenith, razor, zoo, lazy, hazy, zoom, zebra, Brazil, size, and zip. It is also spelled as the double letter Z as dizzy, fuzzy, fizzle, buzz, sizzle, and whiz. It is also spelled as the letter X in words like xylophone and xenophobia. Lastly, it is spelled as the letter X pronounced as Z in exalt, exhibit, exit, exact, exam, and exhaust. Now let's take a look at a sentence that has the Z sound. It is not easy to use a razor to pluck a rose. We notice the sound in words like is, easy, razor, and rose. Having gone through this, let's go on to the next sound, the Z sound. The Z sound is almost the same as the Z sound, where we have our teeth together and we pull our tongue away from them, then push air through them while voicing. The Z sound is a voiced sound because we said a voiced sound is a sound produced with a vibration in our voice box. Now let's take a look at how this consonant sound is spelled in words. The Z sound is spelled as the letter S in the following words: measure, usual, pleasure, treasure, vision, provision, television, and conclusion. Now examples in sentences we have: I have a television. Also we have this is the conclusion of the matter. And lastly we have it is always a pleasure to teach. I hope you're enjoying the lesson so far. Now let's go on to the next consonant sound, which is the th sound. The th sound is produced when we stick out the tip of our tongue a little between our top and bottom teeth while we push out the air through the teeth. It is pronounced like this: th. Now, let's take a look at how this sound is spelled in words. it is spelled as the letters TH in words like the, they, though, smooth, booth, breathe, mother, brother, southern, weather, either, and with. Now let's take a look at this sound in sentences. Sentence 1. The girl has a smooth skin. We notice the sound in the and smooth. Lastly, we have the Southern brothers have a boot camp next week. We have it in the words the, Southern, and brothers. Now, we're moving on to another consonant sound that sometimes we mistake for the th sound. This sound is a t sound. The t sound is the same as the th sound. The only difference is that the t sound is a voiceless sound. That means there is no vibration in the voice box when we pronounce it. Now let's take a look at how this consonant sound is being spelled in words. Like the d sound, the t sound is spelled as the letters TH. But of course we know it to be pronounced differently. Let's look at some words. We have think, throw, thread, Matthew, wealth, truth, thing, both, third, thank, teeth, author, anthem, wreath, thick, thirsty, both, tooth, wealth, north, wealthy, fourth, thought, and lastly, theme. Let's take a look at this sound in a sentence. We have, I think a thank you will do. We have the words think and thank. Remember I said there is a difference between the th sound and the t sound. Now let's take a look at words showing the difference between these sounds. The first colon is th and the second colon is the. Let's look at the words side by side. We have thigh, die, with, weed, think, thine, breath, breathe, worth, worthy, bath, bathe, thug, does, cloth, clothed, thank, and finally, than. With this, I hope we can now differentiate between the th sound and the t sound. Now let's take a quick summary before we go. We've learnt that a consonant sound is a speech sound that is produced with complete or partial obstruction of airflow from the voice box. We've also learnt that the y sound may be spelled as a letter Y. Going on, we learnt that the Z sound may be spelled as the letter or letters S, SE, SS, Z, double Z, X, and X, which is pronounced Z. Next, we learnt that the Z sound is usually spelled as the letter S. And lastly, we learnt that the D and T sounds are spelled as the letters TH. Now, let's take some test questions. Question 1. Which of the following words carry the H sound? Option A, jet. Option B, use. Option C, just. Or option D, juice. The correct answer is option B, use. Question 2. Which of the following sounds can be found in the word scissors? Option A, Z. Option B, Z. Option C, Z. Or option D, sh. The correct answer is option B, Z. And lastly, question 3. Which of the following words carry the th sound? Option A, thank. Option B, thing. Option C, dine. Or option D, think. The correct answer is option C, thine. At this point, I will say thank you for your time. Until we meet again next time, see you and bye.